Good morning, everybody. It is Wednesday. Ask Sharon if you're on the East Coast. Good afternoon. And some of you are even in Europe. It's exciting. Thank you so much for joining me today. And today I want to talk about something that might sound counterjuxtaposed with playing big, but when you play big, typically you've become an expert in your field, and you do that and become the authority because you've stayed in your lane. You've concentrated on building your niche. So part of playing big is establishing your reputation in that niche. And that's something that I want you to start thinking about. What's your niche? What is your lane? And in the world that we live in today, with so much noise and so many things coming across, so many seminars and so many different people trying to sell you things, we're getting ads through Facebook, through LinkedIn. We go to an event and everybody's selling us something. Sometimes you have to put a cone of protection on and think about what's my ultimate goal? How's the quickest and the best way for me to get there? And that's having that area of expertise. And one of the things, I'll use myself as an example, is, you learn the hard way. You start getting, oh, that sounds like a great opportunity, and you go that way. But that's not your core niche. That's not your core expertise. And you're basically sacrificing that to go into something else. And so early in my career, I made the decision, even though we're part of different movies, I'm not going to invest in movies because I don't understand the business. And that business is something that, it is high risk, but it's also, it's not my core competence. In the last year, I've had several companies come to me wanting me to be a spokesperson in cryptocurrency. Now, I believe in cryptocurrency. I believe that is the future, and we're going to see more and more of it. But it's not my expertise. And yeah, I could have dropped everything else, studied up on it, become an expert in that, to seize that opportunity. But I would have been doing it for the dollars, not because it was my niche, financial education. And so as much as I support it and probably will at some point put together some sort of a seminar or webinar about it as I continue to read about it, which is I'm doing, because that's part of staying on top of financial education, understanding it and understanding the elements behind it. But it always comes back to, is this my core competence? This is my niche? Is this my lane? And if it's not, just like when we bought the ranch, I could have become, the one expert in ranches, and I pretty know a lot about it. But we hired competent people because we needed them to be in charge of doing what needed to be done when it needed to be done. And that's understanding, focus on what you're strong at, what you're excellent at. And, I had a client a few years ago, had a successful business, then decided she wanted to do something completely different, keeping that business going. And her background in the industry that she was in, she could have used this new designation in that industry, but she decided she wanted to be a generalist. And so it took a couple of years working with her that she realized all of a sudden that was her sweet spot, to take that additional competency that she created, an overall coaching and mentoring, back into the industry where she was already established, and her results have skyrocketed. And so part of it is that's the importance of having a mentor to kind of help you realize where you're spending your time and where's your greatest return on investment and return on time, right? Your time. What's your greatest likelihood in your success? And that's something that only you can answer, right? Only you can do that. But you have every opportunity to succeed, and by focusing your expertise to become the authority in your field, is paying attention to other opportunities, but asking yourself, is this something that's going to continue focusing me in the right direction, or is it going to distract me? Okay, we want you to focus so that you get more money. You had to have to spend less time on your area of expertise, not divide your time, right? There's a difference. And so by focusing and staying in your lane, becoming an expert, we do the same thing. I talk about that in the area of real estate. All right. Create the formula that you excel at. Maybe it's 3-2 rentals, 3-bedroom, 2-bath rentals. And you continue to do that. You get the system so you understand what to look for, right? Other people try to go out there and do residential rentals, 3-2s, and they try and do commercial properties, warehouses, apartment houses. They're each different. And so it's important to focus in one area to become an expert. And then once that system is up and running, you could focus on something different. But staying in your lane and becoming that expert and generating the revenue engines to support you. So I have some questions. Amelia is writing from Alberta, Canada. I have had an idea for a business for several years and finally decided to do something about it. Congratulations. But I'm feeling pulled in many directions and not sure what to do first. I'm doing this business while I keep my employment position, and I'm also a mom and a wife. Good for you. I've set aside specific times to work on my business, which never seems like enough time. We certainly understand that one. And although I'm always productive, I feel bad at the end of my working sessions because I'm always wishing I had worked on something else. When someone is starting out, is it best to focus on creating an online following, figuring out my branding, writing my own content with so many pieces? What lane should I focus on as I grow? Well, Amelia, that's a great question, but those various categories are not different lanes. Those are all the systems that work into creating your expertise. Now, I don't think you shared with me what your business is. So, you may want to be an expert in health. All right. So as an expert in health, when you're focusing your time and energy on establishing your expertise, you are going to need an online following, your branding, and your own content. Now, it is possible inexpensively these days to have other people write your content, but that brings in to make sure you have the right agreements in place so that you own the content and that it is brand consistent. Quite frankly, it's important to have your branding consistent from the beginning if you can, and that helps you build your online following. So what lane should you focus on most on as you grow? I think focusing on what your desired outcome is. What is the business that you want to be successful? Understanding what the problem is and what the solution, what problem you're solving, what need you're serving, and then structure those systems. And maybe you do need to bring the experts. Maybe you're not the expert for growing your online following. Maybe you need to take your time away from spending time on that and hire somebody that can do it for you so that you can focus your time on writing your content. Maybe you need to bring somebody in to help you define and really do a brand diagnostic for you to get that brand defined as to what you want to be seen as in the industry. But focusing on your lane is focusing on that area of expertise that you want to rise to the top. Everybody can be one of many. Okay, I want you to be the one on top. And that's an important differential. People can go through programs and be one of many certified coaches or certified in certain online marketing. You can get a certification and you're one of many who have that same certification. But if you can take that certification and become the go-to person in your field, maybe in chiropractors, then you have established yourself as rising to the top within that lane, within that niche, within that genre. And that's where, how can you differentiate yourself? So ask yourself that and keep us posted, Amelia. And it's hard to balance everything between family and work and having a job. And when you time block, don't look at what you don't get done. Pay attention to what you do get done and feel good about it. And if you feel like you need to make that 2 hours into 3 hours, that's progress. That's good. So look at what has been accomplished, not what has yet to be done. Try and refocus your thoughts. Hello, Sharon. This is Jem. I'm currently a pharmaceutical rep. I've been fortunate in my financial life and have positioned myself to be able to leave my job and focus on an endeavor of my own. Congratulations, Jim. I bet a lot of people here would like to be saying the same thing. I'm having a hard time deciding what that endeavor should be. After being in the pharmaceutical industry for years, the idea of providing consumer education regarding the way the industry works is really appealing because I do think that it is needed. But I'm not really sure how to build a business around that and and knowing what questions consumers would pay for. A much easier pathway would be to put my skills to work on sales training. But I feel that there are many already doing this. I don't know if it would make sense. What would you advise your clients when they want whatever is next for them in life, but they don't know what it is? Well, Jim, I recommend, I'm going to ask Angela to put in the comments how you can access our workbook on your personal success equation, because it's going to walk you through that and help you come up and think about what your passions are and define what that problem is or what that solution is. And it's not, you may actually have already defined that in your question. If you are a successful sales rep in the pharmaceutical industry, there are lots of them out there. Maybe what you need to do is think about how you can take that expertise in the pharmaceutical industry and sales and create a program specifically for salespeople. Another thing is understanding the industry. Sometimes when we don't know what consumers will ask, just put it out there. Start asking people, what kind of things do you think you would like? Put this very inexpensive to do a survey. Hi, Kim. So happy to have you this weekend. And Karen, hope your ankle's better. We had so good. Kim was with us this weekend for mentoring at the ranch, so we had a great weekend. But when you're thinking about what your lane is and what your niche is, you have two. You're a salesperson and you know the pharmaceutical industry. Now, if there's an underlying passion to educate people more, that can be part of that lane, but it's kind of a different twist. So the question is, how fast to revenue do you need to be? And do you know how to reach those other pharmaceutical reps? Part of it is, how do you differentiate yourself from other people that are doing what you're doing? How can you become the best at what you are? Maybe you've received sales records or awards. That's how you can start promoting yourself. And that's something that allows you to get out there and make a difference and create that revenue model, establishing your expertise and how people in that field want to increase their revenue. They're going to want to find out how you did it. And so establishing your position of authority is important in creating this business cycle. So keep us posted, Jim, and let us know what you decided doing. Good morning, Sharon. This is Haley from Boston. I'm a lash artist and have a studio that offers lash as well as blow dry services. My studio is fairly new, and I don't feel like we are over the hump yet of having steady enough business to feel comfortable. Having said that, a friend of mine asked if I thought of adding other related services because the space next to me is now available and I would have room to expand. It would definitely be a risk, but might make sense because then I can offer existing clients new services and bring in other customers who are looking for services other than what I offer. I feel like I am stuck in a place of worrying if I don't do it now. I won't be able to anytime soon, but I don't want to make a decision based only on that. Any words of wisdom? Well, Haley, this is a hot industry right now. And some of the things that you might want to think about is, instead of you taking over that space, maybe you should seek out someone else that you can partner with that provides those other services. So it would take a little bit of the management and oversight off of your shoulders. You definitely have your the lash and the blow dry business. I'm assuming you have other people actually doing the services, even if you can as well. So you're leveraging your time and talent. And so I congratulate you on being a business owner. But to have that next door service, even if it's something where you can leverage and support each other, it's a great way to see both businesses grow. Obviously, if you are not in a position to handle it on your own, that's something that you need to pay attention to, because you don't want to put yourself at financial risk. And the existing business that you have is something that you can use that. Make sure you leverage off of that to get testimonials, give people an opportunity to, I know the places where if you refer someone for a blow dry or in for lashes, that they reference you as their referral source, you get a discount the next time you come in. And so that's a way to build your business with your existing satisfied clients. The other thing is to look at the other businesses nearby and offer them discounts on services. If they come to your shop, they can come during lunchtime or breaks in the morning or evening, and that gives them the opportunity to get a benefit and to support you, and then they will support others as well. So it's always, that we're kind of coming back to the whole neighborly concept and the way you want to expand it. And that shop next door to you, if you can see the return on investment by doing it yourself, you may want to do that. But think about someone else. It might have a shop somewhere else. It might not be as located, as friendly a location. Talk to them about coming, in next to you and doing some sort of a cross-sharing, cross-benefit between the two customer lists. So there's lots of different options. And so right now, you can draw out what your plans are, what your best case scenario is. And then you have the opportunity to support each other and not have all the burden on yourself. But it sounds like you're open to the possibilities, and that means you're focused. Again, your lane right now is lashes and blow dries, and it sounds like you're still building that. And so if you want this other focus, the question is, do you have the time and energy to go here, or should you bring someone else that's already there and collaborate? So I challenge you to think of it both ways and let us know what you do. Peter. My name is Peter. I run a dog walking business with a network of people that I can call on to provide services. It's one of two different businesses that I own, neither of which are enough on their own to support my lifestyle, but together they allow me to live a financially stable life. In order to step up my lifestyle and do more of what I want, I need to either find ways to make more money in the businesses that I have or start something new. The dog walking business seems the best option, as it does not depend on me to make money, and I can add pet waste cleanup or pet sitting. But of my two businesses, this has the least amount of net income, and I question if I'm going over the less financially efficient business. Would you advise to go for easiest expansion, which could add up quickly in volume, or find a way to grow my other business, which is more financially efficient? Okay, so you didn't tell me, Peter, what your second business is. The nice thing about your pet walking business is probably, you don't have to have highly trained, high payroll employees to help do that. Obviously, you probably want to do background checks on them if they're going into people's homes. But that sounds like something that doesn't take a whole lot of your time to expand those services. I certainly know that we have needs for pet sitting and house sitting, and it's something that you already have a stable of clients, that would be kind of a no-brainer expansion of services. So I don't see that is a huge time suck for you, that you could probably handle that through a manager or through the employees that would allow you to expand your services and your revenue, therefore beefing up that net income. And it might be something you want to look at, but make sure you get the competitive pricing for other people doing the services that in your area, so that you're not you're not going to come out at twice the competition. So make sure you understand what those revenue models look like, and at the end of the day, you will still make a profit. Now, your second business, I don't know if that takes more of your personal time, but if it's more, you said financially efficient. I'm not going. Financially efficient probably means that you have a higher return on, a higher profit percentage. So at this point, you have two businesses. So you're a business owner. I'm going to assume you have someone else that you can bring in to help manage one of them. If not, if you're managing both of them and you're spread too thin, that's the first place to check, because in your business, in pet, in dog walking, that's not an area where you become the authority in dog walking. That is a business, that is a service business that you have the ability to expand without a lot of expertise. And you can have niches, and within that niche, you can add those services. Your other business, if that wraps around who you are and your expertise, then look at how you can expand that to build your authority in that. But you don't have to get rid of either one of them. Just make sure that you look at how you're spending your time. Can you bring someone in to manage that business? Or if one of your best dog walkers has been with you a long time, give them an opportunity to step up and become the manager for the others, so that it releases your time to focus on your second business. Or if there's something that is a burning desire, go to our personal success equation formula and figure out what is your expertise. It's important to understand that, and what is your passion, to make sure that you're doing what you want to do, and you're having the greatest likelihood of financial success. Because yes, Kim, it's so easy to get distracted. We get so many things pushed at us and so many opportunities to buy things and to do new programs. I might get it every single day, and I think, well, it might be nice for me to take this program on, geo tracking from Facebook. And then I go, I'm not ever going to be the one to do that. So maybe my time is best spent somewhere else, and I'll just hire somebody who knows how to do that, to do it for me. But it doesn't mean you don't want to learn about new things. It's just you want to make sure that you're designating your time in the best way possible, and that you are focusing on the end outcome. What is the fastest track to revenue? What is the fastest track to become the authority in your lane? And, I repeat my example of someone who was successful in her business, went and got certified in business coaching, and wanted to kind of be a generalist in business coaching. And when we talked about it, I said, this industry, you're an expert in already. Now you've got this additional, why don't you go to other people in that industry? And it took a while for her to get to that point, but now she's established herself. She's incredibly successful in that industry as a high-level business coach. And so that's something that, you just focus, where can I make the most impact? So playing big is being number one in your field, not one of many. Number one in your field, number one in your niche, number one in your lane, living your legacy and creating maximum impact. And so if you become an expert, all right, so for me, I've spent my entire life on financial education and financial literacy. Yes, I have other businesses. Mike and I are involved in a lot of different other businesses, and we like working with other businesses to help them get to the next level. But I'm not going to go out and become an expert in solar power, even though we have our ranch is solar powered, and I learn about it and I want to. That's a personal interest. But I'm not ever going to be the expert in solar power. I want to remain the expert in financial literacy, because I've invested my entire life. That is my lane. My lane is entrepreneurship, in supporting and mentoring people to focus on creating the greatest long-term financial success through business or through their investments. And that lane I will always stay in. Doesn't mean I won't have other interests, but we bring in the experts to run those interests. So I challenge you to think about what you're doing, how you can stay in your lane and become that expert, and try and turn off the distractions, and know that you have, what's your quickest way to your end result? What's the quickest path to become the expert? And then bring in the people that you need to support you in those other areas. So thank you so much. I'm heading off to San Diego. I'm going to be doing my Facebook Live tomorrow morning from San Diego. Last time I was there, I couldn't get on, and I was so upset. I was so frustrated, and realized it was not my error. It was Facebook was out that day. So I'm going to try it again this time, and hopefully not have a heart attack. So I love you all. Have a fantastic day, and I hopefully will see you in the Play Big movement tomorrow. Thanks so much. Oh, thanks, Kim. We loved having you at the ranch, and thank you so much. And thanks, Karen. Take care, everybody. Love you. Bye.